My brother constantly lets his son disrespect people, Part 1. I 20s F have an older brother who is 40 and has a 9-year-old son who he lets constantly disrespect people. Using fake names, brother equals Henry, brother's son equals Otto. Sorry for it being long. Background: I used to babysit Otto when I was a teenager and loved and treated him as my own. For close to the first 4 years of his life, I was basically an additional parent to Otto. I would teach him basic manners and had to undo some bad behavior he learned at home with my brother and Syl, such as hitting and kicking animals. Henry always expected me to watch after Otto every time he came to visit my mom's house, and I would have to be the one to tell Otto not to hit the animals, not to open the door to go down the stairs, not to do things that would hurt him. Henry never moved once to redirect Otto from doing these things, and him and Sile would just sit there and lazily say Otto's name to get him to come back. Once I graduated, I married my husband and moved in with him and no longer babysat Otto as often as I used to. This is where things started going downhill. Otto was a fairly decent toddler with some tantrums, as to be expected from any toddler as they have big emotions and get frustrated, but once he entered elementary, he started acting very rude. Present day, my mom was in the hospital when I was pregnant with my first child, and we were all visiting her in her room after her surgery. Henry and Otto were the last to arrive, and everyone got to talking. I was talking to Otto, and all of a sudden he called me a little bitch. Henry didn't say anything, and I sternly told Otto that he doesn't get to talk to me that way and we don't say things like that to people. Otto at this point just turned 7, and obviously this is a learned behavior from his parents, as no kid just says things without hearing them or reading them from somewhere. I was pregnant with my first child at this time and obviously pregnant, but Otto was curious and asked why my belly was so big. I wasn't offended, as this was a curious question not meant to spite or make fun of me, so I told him about the baby living in my tummy. Important for later. At this time, Otto had just gotten suspended from school for saying racial slurs, and my Syl and Henry were adamant that they've never used that slur at their house before, and that Otto heard it from another kid. Him and another kid were saying the slurs together, basically saying my kid would never. Close to 2 years after this incident, we are all at my mom's house for an event, and Otto is talking amongst us, is trying to figure out which of his cousins is named what, who is who. And he says, so cousin 1 is the fat one. Part 2 is already out. Check my channel.